be seated.
Hello, Your Honor. This is a case of Angeleri versus Vargas.
Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
Good day, everyone. Mr. Angeleri, you claim the defendant, Ms. Vargas, was married and having an affair with you when she got pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Now, you say she initially told you that you were not the father of her 11-month-old son, but then dropped the bomb that the child was indeed yours.
That is correct.
After her marriage was over.
That is correct.
Ms. Vargas, you admit that you lied to Mr. Angeleri because you say you were trying to save your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
But now that your marriage is over, you claim you are convinced he is the father of your son, and you're here to prove it today.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Angeleri, how did you end up in a relationship with a married woman?
Well, first of all, Your Honor, Miss Vargas and I, we were never in a relationship.
Okay.
We worked together. We were good friends. She would come to me to confide with me over her rocky relationship that she had with her husband. That's what happened at first. Then, a few weeks later, she came in, said it's the last straw. I'm completely done with them. Then, next thing you know, we became better friends. She had brought her kids over a few times. We'd go out at night. We started drinking a lot together. One night, we ended up back at my place. We'd been at the club. We got turned up. We were out there doing our thing. We went to the house, started doing our thing.
Our thing?
Yeah.
Your Honor. That night, when we, had sexual intercourse, you planned to get me pregnant. I feel like you did.
Oh, no, that's a lie.
Hold on. I realize that you may hear some things that will evoke intense emotion.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you're not gonna clown or act a fool or use inappropriate language in this courtroom. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor, I apologize.
So you gotta find a better way to express yourself.
All right, I can understand that.
Continue.
Okay. That night, Your Honor, I feel like from the beginning, he's always stalked me. Even my friends at work would always tell me, like, he's looking at you again. Look at him.
And they said the same thing to me.
Really?
Look, Vanessa's over there looking at you.
Why would I look at you if I didn't have any feelings for you? If I didn't like you?
I don't know, because
Really?
obviously you're
Okay.
lying again.
Yeah, I'm lying.
Lie,
really?
lie.
No, yeah, okay.
I did not plan nothing that night, Your Honor.
No,
we had started out using protection.
He was doing this stalker thing where he would be looking at me and I'd turn and look, and yeah, there he goes, staring at me again.
Well, look at you, you're beautiful.
Oh, gosh.
Come on now. Any kind of man that likes women would stare at you. Right?
I was dressed in working
So wait a
clothes.
minute. You're at work and people are saying to you, oh, he's looking at you. This is making you feel uncomfortable, or you just feel like the guy thinks you're beautiful?
Well, you looking back? You looking back?
Yeah, because they would tell me you're staring at me again.
You look back and smile, though.
Okay,
You look back and smile and give me the googly eyes.
I knew I had you, that's why.
Huh? Hey, it is what it is.
Hold on. So at this point, you're married, Ms. Vargas.
Your Honor, at the time, we were separated.
So you two were intimate.
Yes, just once.
And then you found out you were pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Were you also intimate with your husband at the time?
Yes, Your Honor. A month before me and him had sexual intercourse, me and my husband were still.
So within a 30-day or less time period, you had been intimate with your husband and also Mr. Angeleri.
Yes, Your Honor.
She told me it was over between her and her husband, Your Honor.
Okay, well, she just told the court that she was separated. I try to tell people all the time that you're married until you're divorced. But look, that relationship, that's for them to handle. I'm trying to understand, during the period of time this child could have been conceived, how many possible fathers are there?
There's only him and my ex.
And your ex.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
yes, Your Honor.
do you immediately think it was your ex's, or do you think it was Mr. Angeleri's, or are you just clueless?
I wanted it to be...
She told me the baby was mine, and the next thing you know, she's telling me it's her husband.
I wanted to work things out with my husband, Your Honor. I wanted to do it for him.
You gotta face reality.
So when you first found out you were pregnant, Ms. Vargas, did you call Mr. Angeleri and say this child is yours?
Yes, Your Honor.
So you told him it was his.
I first did.
Then you decided, I want to try to work this out with my husband. So you tell your husband that it's his.
There could be a chance that it was his.
Another lie.
And he was willing to take over responsibility even if it wasn't his. But, at 7 months is whenever I got back with him. We actually moved in together. We were trying to work things out.
So you tried to work it out?
We tried, but it didn't happen.
It just didn't work?
It didn't work. And
at this point, did you tell Mr. Angeleri, I'm working it out with my husband, I'm trying, you're
Yes,
not
Your
the
Honor.
father,
I was trying to keep him away,
And I respected that. You told me one time I
yes,
didn't
but
contact
you
again.
were still texting him on Facebook, asking him questions.
Well, no, I said if you want to be a real man about it, you got to let me know if that kid looks anything like me.
And you were
because I want to
you were
know.
still causing problems. We were.
I contacted
said,
you one
So
time.
wait. So what you're saying is after you told Mr. Angeleri you were pregnant, you asked him to give you some space because you're trying to work this out with your husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
I moved away anyhow.
You respected that to a certain extent, but in your mind you knew that you could possibly have a
I
child.
had a gut feeling, so come September-ish is when I contacted her husband and her saying, you know what, reality, whether you dislike me, whether you like me, you need to let me know if this is my child when the kid is born. She never told me when he was born. I heard from people around town. Then I run into her mom at a restaurant one day and she shows me a picture and that put the gut feeling back in there.
I didn't want Mr. Angeleri to be the father.
I didn't want to have another kid.
I didn't want to have another kid.
Well, there we go. But the kid deserves better. He's got to have a mom and a father.
I understand that.
We need to come to some resolution.
And that's why we're here.
That's right.
Why we're here.
Now you're talking my language. Once you saw the picture of this child,
The gut feeling came
said,
back.
press
It came
this
back.
a little further.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you say you reached out to them both.
No, I didn't even talk to her because I have 2 kids that live in Washington State. When she told me there's no chance, the kid is yours, there's no way at all. Long term, when I was in Texas, I was trying to get back up to Seattle to be with my other 2 children. I didn't want to get in a serious relationship or have any kids.
Like I said, I was trying to save my marriage. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do the right thing, and I felt like I was doing the right thing. Yes, I made a mistake, Your Honor, and I'm willing to fix it. It's the reason why I'm here. Yes, I did take a morning after pill, but there's that 99.9% chance. So I guess that 1% chance.
There's a 99.9% chance
I was
that you were lying.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. You felt like she intentionally lied to you and to her husband.
Yes, because the first few months, she's telling me I'm the dad. Then I end up getting a job up north. She told me, well, I want to try to work things out with my husband. I don't want him to try to get me for adultery or have anything happen with my children. I said, well, I can respect that. Do your thing. I moved up to Austin. She still lived down in Temple. I was 45 minutes away. I didn't talk to her. One of my friends that lived down in the same area told me, oh, she's getting big. She's ready to pop. So then come September, my conscience is really wearing on me like, well, is she going to tell me? Is she going to let me know something? No, I didn't hear nothing. I moved to Washington. She contacts me on Facebook when the child's 6.5 months old.
Okay.
That's when I
Tells
felt,
me, hey,
yeah, he looked
my husband left. I don't have no more money. You got a kid here now.
Really? No more money? When you
Wait a minute. So
That's what it seemed like to me. Why did she lie?
you were the one
from
asking
get-go?
me if I needed money. Hey,
Well,
let
yeah,
me help you out because I feel like I'm the dad.
you told me, well, you have a child here now, so I have a big heart.
And
if
I
he
told
is
you
my
no.
kid, I took your word again.
And I told you no, I don't need your help. I got this. I had, 2 jobs.
and then I helped you out.
Yeah, you helped me out. But then you kept asking me, hey, you need some more help. You need some more help. You need some more help. No, I don't need your help.
Well, yeah, because then the belief went away because I took a step back and said, hey, she lied to me from the get-go. She lied to her husband.
I didn't lie to him. I told him there was a chance it couldn't have been his, and he knew that.
Then why did he tell me different?
Yeah, proof.
So,
No, I
Mr.
don't. I don't have
Angeleri, do you feel like the only reason she's coming back to you now is because it didn't work out with her husband?
I believe if her and her husband were still married, everything was still going well with them, I would never even hear about this. But I also see where she's coming from because she wants her son to have a father. And if he is my son, I want to be his father. I want to be involved in his life.
And I want you to be involved. I want you to be there.
When did you decide that you felt the child was Mr. Angeleri's? And beautiful. Beautiful little boy. You're emotional looking at your child because you feel...
He calls me daddy. I'm just hurting for him because I want him to be there for him.
And if I'm his father, I will be there for him. But what I thought she was just trying to maybe get some money out of me, I have some evidence I'd like to
Absolutely,
push
sir.
forward
What
to
do
you.
you have?
pretty much stating after I told her I couldn't give any money, she states that I need you to give your rights away. I hope you stay away and never come around.
Jerome,
He
can
would
you
make
hand this for me?
excuses.
I will put a restraining order on
He
you.
would always make excuses saying, oh,
They weren't excuses,
I
it
was
was
in the
reality.
hospital, or
I was in the
I had
hospital.
a seizure, or
I did.
my car broke down, or
It
it would
did.
always be something.
These are messages that say, I need you to give away your rights. I hope you stay away and never come around. I will put a restraining order on you.
What kind of mother does that when you think that's the father?
What had he
Really?
done to warrant a restraining order?
Nothing, Your Honor.
So this is just angry
It's
talk.
just being angry. I mean, he wasn't there. He would always make excuses saying, oh, I can't send you money. One time, he said he was gonna send me money. I waited at Walmart for him to send the money, and he never called me. I waited at least 4 hours for him to call me back. He never called.
So now,
I had a seizure. I was in the hospital.
listen.
He says that every single time.
But now
Whole
I have
medical
to,
record.
I have to say this to you. When he was there in your face and you wanted to try to work it out with your husband, you said, look, give me some space. I want to try to work this out.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I think the child is my husband. So he went off.
He was born a month early, so I was thinking, hey, maybe it is my husband's child, you know?
Okay, I'll even give you that. But you got to give a man a chance to digest it and get prepared and
Yes,
get
Your
his
Honor.
money in order. You told him to go off, and you were going to be with your husband. And then when you called him back and said, okay, well, I think he looks like you. This is your child. Get ready to get in gear. He still didn't know definitively.
Because, Your Honor, when she told me that, it finally had put my gut feeling at rest. And I helped her out a few times. I helped her out with what I could. I did have some medical issues. She might have found it as an excuse. I apologize that I wasn't able to come through on that end. But then I also looked at, well, she's lied to me on numerous occasions. I lived in the same city as she did until the kid was 6 months old, 5 months old. Why couldn't you get a hold of me then?
I felt like he was starting to look more like you, and I wanted you to be there.
Do you think he looks like me now?
Yes.
Because my other two kids resemble me spitting image.
Of course, he's gonna look like the mother too. It's not just gonna be you.
Well, yeah, that's understandable, but I don't see many of my traits. I have straight hair.
He's got your lips, your nose, and your ears.
He is a handsome boy.
Yeah.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
I just want to know, is that my son? And are you going to let me be in his life?
And Mr. Angeleri, this is also particularly important to you because you didn't know your father.
Exactly. I just reunited with my father after 15 years, and it's been great. It's been tough growing up without a dad. And I don't think any kid deserves growing up without either one of their parents. So that's why I want to get to the bottom of this.
What was it like for you?
I didn't have no structure. I didn't have no direction. I was in and out of jail, you know. I lived with my dad till I was 13, and I was straight-laced. You know, I got taken away by CPS by him, and then I didn't see him again until 2 weeks ago, and I'm 27 now. So it was very tough. You know, I have an older brother that tried being a father figure to me, and he kind of was, but...
Do you believe that it was this experience that kept you asking those questions to Ms. Vargas, that kept you trying to figure out, is this my child? Even when you had the doubts, you still wanted to know because you didn't want the cycle to repeat itself.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, look at him. Why does he deserve only having one parent?
That's why I'm here today.
Me too, and that's why I want to know if he's my son, because he deserves better than that. And I know she's a great mother. I know she is. I saw
Right.
her with her other two children. She's a great mother.
And you know, I will say this because I came down on
But
you
you know
very
what, women-
hard in this courtroom because I wanted you to take this seriously. However, I will say that I have seen many men come into this courtroom and a woman gives them the out and says, you're not the father, go ahead about your business, and they do just that. I commend you because you kept persisting to figure out whether this was your son.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
that's commendable.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Vargas,
Yes, Your Honor.
what are you feeling at this time?
Emotional, because I want him to have a father.
And that's the reason why you really tried to work it out with your husband, is because you really wanted him to have.
I was only trying to save my marriage, that was it. And it didn't work. And I'm sorry, I made a mistake.
We all make mistakes. We're forgiven.
We most certainly all do. Now, with that said, are you ready to learn the results?
Yes, Your
Yes,
Honor.
Your Honor.
Jerome?
There you go, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The results were prepared today by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Angeleri versus Vargas, as it pertains to 11-month-old Giovanni Vargas, Mr. Angeleri, you are the father.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's all I've wanted. Like you said, everybody makes mistakes, but it's all about how you come out of it. And today, he now has a mom and a dad.
Absolutely. And he deserves it.
Oh,
wanna
yes,
hold
he
him.
does. He's a
You
great
want to
little
hold
guy.
him?
That's my son.
Yes, it is. Would you like to meet him in my chambers?
Yes, Your Honor.
That would be wonderful. I'm happy this has worked out for the both of you, and I'm even happier that it's worked out for Giovanni. I'll see you in chambers.
Me too, Your Honor.
Court
Thank
is
you.
adjourned. There he comes.
Here you go, Dad. Hi, Gio. Hi. It's Daddy. Hi. Hi.
Oh my goodness. That's a good daddy hug.
Hi.
I wish you guys the best. There's nothing better than that kind of daddy love, right?
Thank you, Your Honor.